Hi. All right, so I wanted to share with you a fun way to use a brush pen. This is uh, um, the Micron Pigma brush pen, and I'm using black. Anyways, they have come in different colors, but here's the first one that I did. I traced my line drawing onto this paper right here. And then I use the brush pen to add my texture and my lines. So that's what I'm going to show you today, is how I'm going to do my line work. And so I'll have and you can kind of see, I'm going to try and turn off the light so you can see it a little bit better. You can see my line drawing, that the pencil drawing. What I will do is sometimes if you have a heavy hand, you're going to want a kneaded eraser, and so that's what I have. I have a kneaded eraser, and I just like to, once I trace this onto here, I just like to kind of erase most of the pencil line, because I don't need it to be that dark. Now, if I were not doing this for a class, I would have probably tried to do a little bit lighter, but this is just a guide. And don't be a slave to your pencil lines, meaning you don't have to use your pencil lines, and I'm going to show you what I mean in the lesson. So I'm going to start, and you'll see me moving my paper around. You can still see my pencil lines. I hope I can see it on my screen. So anyways, I'm going to start in the center, because I feel like that's probably my like right in here is obviously the focus point. So I want to be able to get that focus point started. So the brush pen, if you're not familiar, if you don't feel confident doing this on your paper that you took time to draw out the flower, take some scrap paper, and I'll just use this line drawing paper, and you're going to want to just make little like light lines and see how it goes. And then once you feel like you got it, then you can go back into your paper. I call this like fur, like you're just hatching. So anyways, practice. If you don't feel like you're confident in your, and then also I like to turn my paper, and I like to go away from myself. I hope that makes sense. So if I try to do this way, it does not always work well for me. Okay, so there's my center. I really like that center. Now I'm going to go back, and I'm going to just do this inner circle. And if you look at my reference photo, I had the two lines kind of drawn out in the line drawing. Right here is the two lines. I'm not following these two lines, but I am going to look at my reference photo, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to add that texture, and that's what I'm doing here. So in this line drawing, there's the completed version, so you can see what I did. I again used more cross hatching, or just hatching really, to make that texture. And this is a brush pen, so I don't have to worry about dipping my brush into ink, which makes it really kind of nice, actually. I enjoy using my brush pen, and I don't want it to look all the same, because in nature nothing is ever the same for very long, and it gives the eye more variation to look at. And of course this is going to be different than this one, because I don't like painting the same thing the same way. I don't know if anyone else has that problem, but I do. So that's a really pretty center. I really like that. Now I'm going to kind of go back to center, and I'm going to look and say, okay, how am I going to do the top part? And this time I'm going to start on the inside and go in. So I'm going on the outside working in. So this is the inside working out. I'm going on the outside working in. Very lightly, and once I start, I just kind of do it the way I feel like it. I'm always changing my paper around. I think that's okay. Take your time, don't rush. And like that. That's gonna work. Okay, back to center. Now I can start on my petals. And the petals, when you do one, all of them are about the same. In this one, I would start at the center, and then I would make my little line here, and then I would try and thin out here, and then make little thicker lines at the top. If you don't like that, you can change it however you want. And then just gently, I will put my pinky down on the paper, and then you'll see me, like, my pinky kind of holds the pen steady. It's a great trick to use, but you have to practice holding your pen like that. But once you get a good firm grasp on how to do it, it really does help you with the with holding the pen. So anyways, and sometimes I won't put in the lines until I know where I want the lines, but for now I'm gonna do that. And then I guess, and I don't want to have, I want to have broken up lines that will give a little bit more depth. And you can see that I'm kind of following the pencil lines, but I'm not tracing my pencil lines. The pencil lines are just a guide. I'm going to go back in and erase the whole thing. And I think that always looks better when the pencil lines are just guides, and if you can remember that. Just like that. It doesn't have to take very long. This is a very therapeutic process for me, and so I want it to be fun. I want it to be something that is fun for me to paint. Another thing that I might mention is with the brush pen is when I go up, that's my light stroke. So I go very light up, and then if I'm going down, I can press really down for far, but I won't. I'll do like a medium pressure. So this is hard pressure, a little bit of pressure, and I would practice doing that too. So up, you can get a very nice, if you do it right, you can just go up, and then down, you can get a really thick pressure. So I'm also remembering that when I am doing my petals. So I'm going up, that should be my thin pressure. If I go down, I can really make it a little bit more dramatic. But because I want this flower to look a little bit more delicate, I'm not using a lot of my thick strokes here. I can, and I will right there, just to add some, and I can because there's this nice little gap right there, and I think that will really help. But this is supposed to be a loose, fun floral, and do it however you think will be perfect. And remember, we're going to add some color, not too much, just a little bit when we get to it. But this floral part is going to be, these petals are going to be mostly white with maybe a touch of pink. That's what my reference photo looked like, is that it had a little bit of pink on those flowers. Okay, and I want a line right there. There. I think I'm going to call that done. Now I still have pencil lines right here, and you can kind of see those pencil lines right there. That's just so I can say, okay, these are going to be leaves. And over here, I'm probably going to do either yellow or blue. We'll see what the pink looks like once I get it on. But at the end, it's not going to matter, but I at least want to make sure I have a space for my leaf so it doesn't look like a flower is just floating there. So there is the brush pen demo, and it's a lot of fun to just paint. Now if you feel confident in making this flower, you don't have to trace it. You could just draw it and then use brush pen over it too, and I've done that a lot of times too. All right, next lesson we'll add color to it.